Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara popping in the afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, my original time slot here. And welcome to How You Can Win Big at Business. Like I said, my name is Joe DeChara. I'm a CPA, the owner of this time slot. I am an out-of-the-box serial entrepreneur. Uh, some of the things might sound that I say might sound like that guy's a CPA. Why is he talking about this stuff? And I'll tell you the truth, I have absolutely no idea why, but I was born to be an entrepreneur. I got my CPA certificate because my father tricked me into that. And lo and behold, 35 years later, I'm still a CPA after working with thousands of business owners. And I actually found out only recently that my real passion is helping other people make money. That's right. I peeled away all of the stuff, all of the distractions. I did a lot of self-reflection. I looked at my results, and whenever I could help somebody make money, I get a lot of joy out of that. And hopefully, if I can help you make money, you'll hire me. And that's the idea. So if you want to reach out to me, if anything that I say makes any sense to you, if you just have a question about your business, reach out to me, and I'm going to give you a link right now so that you can do that for free. That's right, timewithjoe.com. And I love to talk to people about their business. I do it about at least 4 or 5 times a day now because people discovered something called Zoom. And right now, I am using if you are looking to do Facebook Lives, I'm actually looking to partner with people that want to do some interviews with me in my group and when. And also, I'm looking for people that want to have their own show, because that's what this is. When you get your own time slot, it's like having your own newscast, if you want. And I've been learning a lot of stuff from Haley Gray. She's had this tremendous 5-day Build Your Tribe challenge. And really, there's almost no limit to what you can do on this platform. You could have auctions. I mean, it's really unlimited. So whatever your heart desires, if you know what your purpose is, what type of individuals you want to connect with, uh, it's simple, it's easy to do what I'm doing, and it works. And if you don't notice, I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I'm connecting with a lot of people. But let's get into today's lesson, which I'm really excited about because instead of talking about mindset stuff and time management and the principles of success, I'm actually going back to the fundamental accounting stuff that I've been doing for 35 years. The stuff that nobody really wants to do, but has to be done. And that's what I do. I take over the grunt work for people. I take over the stuff that nobody wants to do. And there's a number of ways that we can do that. And Wave Apps is one of the biggest no-brainers in business that I've ever come across. So what is Wave Apps? Wave Apps is a free program where you can do your bookkeeping. It's as simple as that. If you're using a spreadsheet, which I know that there's a lot of people out there, I'm not going to mention any names, Sharon, but people are still using spreadsheets, or they're just doing something by hand. And Wave Apps easily eliminates that whole process. So I want to share my screen with you. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to start from scratch. And I only got this slot for another like 18 minutes. So, and I'm putting myself on the line here again. And I am going to create a new company. And we'll see how far I get. Because what I do when I get a new client, I send them the simple instructions that I'm going to show you right now. And very rarely do we have a glitch, which is amazing because if you know anything about like QuickBooks or the other programs, it's painful. So this program, so like I said, let me see, I'm not actually sharing it with you yet, so let me get that straight. And if you're watching if you're watching this live and I see somebody gave me a shout out, and I apologize, but I'm still working on the interactive part of using Facebook Lives, and I want to give you the whole screen there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start from scratch. So this is a dummy company. I did this a couple of days ago, and I got a lot of good feedback, so I figured why not do it again. And so here we go. We're going to create a new business. Now, if you don't, this is because I already have a Wave account. So you would actually start out, like, let's say, an internal error occurred. But you would start, I don't know, there's some kind of conflict there, but you would just start at waveapps.com and it would be, open a new company. So here is the test. Let's see how long this takes. It's 2:44 on my desktop clock. So, and like I said, so I apologize for not being able to be interactive, but if you do have a question about Wave apps or just about your anything, you can post it in the chat, and I will definitely guaranteed get back to you on it. I always do. Or, like I said, if you want to connect with me about this or any other business topic, just go to timewithjoe.com. So here we go. I'm going to call this test code number 2 because I did this before. Now you pick your type of business. Okay. And then they want you to break it down even more. So I'm going to say I'm an accountant. So now, one good thing about this, it doesn't matter where you're from. Every business needs some form of bookkeeping. So I don't care what your laws are in your country, but if you're in business, you need this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say we are a corporation. And if you're in business, I hope that you're incorporated. And if you're not, go to timewithjoe.com and I can help you with that. So here now, because I am in, and I just want to make this distinction because I have multiple clients. They're not listed here because this is just like my test Wave account. But if it was you, and you just had one business, all you would see is your company, and also you should set up a personal account. And I think you have to set up a personal account first. But a lot of people use Quicken, and after you see how easy this is, you might want to move your personal stuff over to Wave Apps as well. So we created the company. And now I'm not going to go, this is some of my stuff. I'm not going to do all of these details because, like I said, I want to just get this set up. And okay, so I am in, okay, the business was successfully updated. So now we're going to go to the dashboard. Before it was in the launch pad, which I guess is their way of saying, these are all your companies. So if you have multiple companies, but even if you're a bookkeeper or an accountant, you want to use this, because this has made my job a lot easier. So one of the first things we want to do is we want to connect our bank account. Now, this is one of the most powerful reasons why I love this app, and it's because it will uh, connect with almost any bank. So they got some of them listed here, but if you, let's say, Bank of America, okay, Bank of Utah, okay, it's going to make me look stupid now, but it's there. Believe me, Bank of America is there because I have a client and we connected it. But right now, I'm going to use one of my banks where I had a pretty much inactive account. It's an old corporation that I'm just winding down, and so what I have to do here is log into my account. And now they're going to verify me again, and I'm going to get a text on my phone. There's the text. 172. So now what this is going to do is it's going to bring me to my bank. And now this bank, you could say I have three different accounts. Okay, so this is the one. It's my entity that I had for a long time, pro bookkeepers. All I'm doing now pretty much is transferring money into this to pay existing bills. So now what you want to see here is it just took me like a minute to connect. And now what it's doing, if you see up here, it's already bringing in transactions. Now I actually made a mistake here because that's hard. Okay, there we go. So now I know that I don't have that much in this account. It's more like $800. So, but that would get fixed in the accounting part of this. But as you could see, it it brought in a lot of transactions, and where I made a mistake was when I imported it. What it did was it brought in uh, as many transactions as the bank would, possibly allow it. And really, I only wanted to bring in, a couple of months worth. But that's how powerful this is. Okay, I mean, if you've ever done this, I mean, it sucked all this stuff in just a couple of seconds, and it would do the same thing. Let's go back there with your credit card accounts. Okay, if you want to connect a credit card account, let's say Amex, American Express, you can connect your Amex account and it'll suck in all the information. So what we're talking about here, folks, is the elimination of data entry, which usually is the most time-consuming part of bookkeeping. So now what we're going to do, so we have all of our transactions in there, and I did this a little bit backwards because usually I start with the chart of accounts. And if you don't know what a chart of accounts is, it's really the backbone of your bookkeeping. And if your chart of accounts is not set up right, your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement will not be right. It's as simple as that. So Wave comes with a standard chart of accounts. And you could see, so the assets is we have two bank accounts, the one I just set up. money in transit, which is something that's only used if you're invoicing in Wave. This, I don't know why they call it this, but it's really accounts receivable. Inventory. Actually, I was mistaken. So these are the accounts. Okay, so these are categories. Okay, my bad. So yeah, we have 4 accounts. There's 2 bank accounts, accounts receivable, and taxes. So one of the things is that this company is based in Canada. So if you're in the U.S., you might find some of the terminology not exactly what we're used to. So I still have about 7 minutes, and all I'm doing here is I want to show you. So if we can add a credit card, this is how easy it is to add an account. And now, or what would happen when I added the credit card, it would have just automatically appeared here. Loans, sales taxes, you can do payroll in Wave. And so that's the liabilities. Here is the income, expenses. So let's just go through some of the expense items. Now, what's going to happen is when I go into the transactions, because now what we want to do is we want to classify all of the transactions. And I know that a lot of these transactions are, is classified as loans to shareholder. In other words, I'm putting money into the business, and the business has to pay me back at some point. And this is the shareholder loan account. So that's the the short story. The long story is eventually when we classify all of these transactions, you could see that was my bank balance actually from the bank. So you could see that when the transactions came in, the balance was 3,000 and something. So obviously stuff came in that doesn't belong, or yeah, it's probably with the beginning balance. Uh, the program is smart, but it's not that smart. But what happens is those transactions uh, get eliminated when we reconcile. Okay, reconciling is a step that a lot of people have forgotten about for some reason, but it's the only way to really verify that the amount of the transactions in your books are accurate. So now we only have a few more minutes, and what I want to accomplish here is, eventually, like I said, the all of those transactions have been categorized somewhere on either the balance sheet or the profit and loss statement. And so you could see none of the income was categorized. And in fact, almost all of this are what I described as the loans to shareholders. So I'm going to fix that. And I just want to show you going down here. So so this is where the accounting comes in. So what I would do as the accountant is I would go into bank charges, because I know that I don't have $6,000 worth of bank charges this year anyway. And so I would, okay, so here's 4,000. I got some, oh my God, I had overdraft fees back then. I don't even think that those are right. Oh, and they can't, okay, yeah. Okay, so I got a lot of cleaning up to do. It looks like a lot of it is going to be in here, and that just means reclassifying transactions. So let's go into transactions here. And so you could see most of the stuff was not classified. And it actually did a pretty good job guessing at what some of these things are. And so it actually got it right. Now, what happens is with these programs, artificial intelligence, is once I tell it what this transaction is for, the next time a transaction with the same name comes in, it'll go into that account. So it already knows about Con Ed and Kartra, which is computer software. And now what I want to do is I want to show you how to easily reclassify most of those transactions. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go into the category of uncategorized income because that's all I want to see. And I don't want to see it for the whole year. Let's just say the second quarter. So that's April through June. And so this is all of the uncategorized income. And like I said, most of these you'll see are transfers in from one of my other accounts. So I'm winding this down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reclassify all of the transactions that are actually shareholder loans. And you could see there are 35 transactions that are in uncategorized income. And I'm just going to quickly go through here because I could pick out what were the loans and what were the income items because I did have a couple of, oh, there's my stimulus check. And I did have a couple of deposits that were income, and none of them that I could see. I made a couple of wacky transfers to cover the overdrafts. These are still all, well, it looks like from April 1st through now, all I had were transfers. So all of these are shareholder loans. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to reclassify them. Now you could do this with 100 transactions. And this is, if you've ever worked with, reclassifying stuff in QuickBooks, this is a lot faster and easier. And so now I'm going to show you the difference in the report. So here is and we're going to look at it for the same period, quarter two. And so you could see all of that income that was there is gone. And the next area would be uncategorized expenses. That's how I sequence everything. I want to go to the uncategorized stuff first. And I would do the same thing. Now, again, I'm going to show you, this is just a report where I drill down and where you're going to change the categories are in the transactions. And again, all you're going to do is you're going to find, what type of account you're looking for. And there's a couple of other ways to do this. So I could say, okay, we want all the uncategorized for the second quarter. And just the withdrawals. And it's the same thing. And so now let me see if, okay, so here is Macy's, which is a personal, just like the deposits. And so now I have, so that was another way to weed out the transactions that are all the same. So it's a process of finding, similar transactions so that we can both, change the categories. So let me go back to the reports and I'll show you what the changes are. So I showed you the profit and loss, which is now for the second quarter, it's 0. And the balance sheet, so now you're going to see that the shareholder loan went up. And we're going to look at the details here. So you see that all of those deposits and a couple of the withdrawals went to the shareholder loan account. And by the time you're through the transaction process, you have your business set up on Wave. How was that? That was less than 20 minutes. And I love this program. If you want to find out more about it, I mean, it's easy. You go to waveapps.com. It's free. It works. It does have limitations. So if you have, a construction company, your job costing, if you got different departments, this is not going to be for you. But it is for most businesses. And like I said, you can use it for your personal as well. If you have any more questions on this, like I said, you can post them in the chat. If you want to just connect with me, go to timewithjoe.com, or you can even join one of my masterminds, which is mastermindwithjoedechara.com. And that's my story. I am going to stop the share now so I can say goodbye to you. And I appreciate you watching. And I will be on again tonight at 8 p.m. Thank you.